Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, folks. My name is Jess Lacey, and I am the Partnerships and Events Manager here at DASA. And today I'm excited to welcome you to the second episode of our Intelligent Continuous Security mini-series, developing a strategic ICS roadmap for long-term security success. I am delighted to introduce to you our speaker for today's episode, and I would like to welcome Gen AI Digital Transformation Leader Jagdish Karira as our distinguished guest for today. Jagdish is also an esteemed member of the DASA Intelligent Continuous Security Expert Forum. Now, we have a lot of ground to cover today, so please put your questions in the chat and we will get to them at the end. Jagdish, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Jess. Thank you, DevOps Skill Association, DASA, for the opportunity to present Intelligent Continuous Security Roadmap for long-term security success. And thank you all the live audience for joining us today, and people who will be watching this recorded session after it is being published. I appreciate your time as well. People who listen to the recording, I have observed that you guys done this to 10 times so that you can play it 10 times and be done in a few seconds or a few minutes. So I appreciate your time as well. Those of you who have attended any of my keynotes, presentations, or workshops, you know how I start. I always start with why, then explain what, and lastly, discuss how to achieve your outcomes that you're looking for to solve your real-time business problems. So let us start today with why. Why should we develop intelligent continuous security roadmap for your long-term security success? Last week's British retailer Marks and Spencer's suspended their online orders from their website and apps due to a cyber attack. We hear countless stories like Marks and Spencer regularly, and lately more frequently. Generative AI has enabled significant shift in cybersecurity landscape. Gen AI presents both powerful tools for defenses and remediation, but at the same time creates opportunities for sophisticated attacks from attackers and hackers. Here are a few examples: sophisticated phishing and social engineering, defects for deception, prompt injection. Let us unpack these opportunities. Sophisticated phishing and social engineering. Gen AI can create highly personalized and realistic phishing emails, text messages, social media posts that make it extremely difficult to identify what is real and what is fake. Defects for deception. Gen AI enables creation of realistic fake videos, audios, and image files that can be used in social engineering attacks. Lastly, prompt injection. Attackers can manipulate the input prompts to Gen AI applications to make them perform unintended or harmful actions, such as leaking sensitive data, bypassing security controls, or executing malicious commands. For example, a carefully crafted prompt could trick a Gen AI powered chatbot into revealing internal system information. During my consult career, I have observed that many organizations, security is not planned, it is an afterthought. Organizations should be proactive and not reactive when it comes to security. Many organizations are trying to adopt DevSecOps, but there are still some gaps remaining. This is like trying to plug the holes as you steer the ship while staying afloat. We are trying our best by plugging these holes, but the water keeps finding its way, resulting in security breaches. The costs of security breaches are enormous. In case of the example that I started with, Marks and Spencer, let us reflect on last week's episode. Marks and Spencer get their 1/3 of total revenue from online orders, which they had to let go. The cost is not just in revenue dollars, but in loss of trust that impacts their brand. Remember, every breach, every data leak erodes confidence in the digital world. Cybersecurity is not just about bits and bytes, it's about people too. Remember what happened to Delta Airlines last year? In July 2024, CrowdStrike struck Delta Airlines that caused over 5,000 flight cancellations, impacting 1.3 million passengers and costing Delta Airlines over 500 million. By the way, I was one of those impacted passengers stranded on the airport. Let us expand these situations to other industries. When hospital systems are compromised, lives are at stake. Imagine National Health Service in England, or Mayo Clinic, or Cleveland Clinic in USA. When a bank is breached, families could lose their privacy and identity. Cybersecurity is a real human issue. It is about safety, our privacy, and our peace of mind. We need to remember that behind every data point, there's a person, there's a family, and their dreams. Due to Gen AI, we are facing new challenges. AI-powered attacks can be highly dynamic and adaptive, make them harder to detect with traditional rule-based security systems. The sheer volume and the sophistication of AI-generated attacks can overwhelm your InfoSec teams or security teams. Many organizations report a lack of confidence in their ability to detect and respond AI-driven attacks. If you recall, I said that I start with why, followed by what. So what is Intelligent Continuous Security, or ICS? To tackle these new Gen AI-powered challenges, we need a new solution. Intelligent Continuous Security, or ICS, is a new paradigm. It is a security system that is always learning, always adapting, and always protecting. ICS utilizes AI, artificial intelligence, for threat detection. You may ask, why now and why such a sense of urgency? Let me remind you, we are living in digitally connected world. To increase our productivity and efficiency, we are using new technologies such as IoT, Internet of Things, hybrid workplace, and BYOD, bring your devices to work. I provided a few examples of Gen AI-driven attacks. Let me cover a few more examples, such as data poisoning and model theft. So what is data poisoning? Attackers can introduce malicious data into training the datasets of your AI models, corrupting your LLM accuracy, and potentially making them more susceptible to attacks or influence biases in their LLM responses. Model theft. Unsecure Gen AI models can be breached and stolen by malicious actors, and then breached models can be used to launch further attacks. To solve AI-powered attacks, we need AI-powered defenses. And that's why Intelligent Continuous Security, ICS, is not just a good idea, it is a necessity for now. So now we have covered why and what. Let's talk about how do we transform and adapt ICS, Intelligent Continuous Security. In my consulting career, I have led several successful transformations. Here is a typical roadmap blueprint with 7 key steps at an executive level. By the way, if you guys are participating interactively, feel free to put in your chat is what roadmap looks like in your organization. Let's cover the 7 steps quickly in this slide, but then I have a deeper dive slides for each one of these steps. Step number 1 is vision. During this step, we create clear and compelling high-level vision by defining the direction and the vision and goals. Step 2 is alignment. In large corporations, alignment ensures that all the sub-organizations within the enterprise, vertical as well as horizontal, understand the vision and are collaborating to refine the vision if necessary. Step number 3 is discovery and assessment. That establishes the baseline of where we are and how far we must go to achieve the desired future state. Solution. Based on the discovery and baseline assessment, we conduct the gap analysis, and then create the solution to focus on the gaps. Step 5 is realizing. By piloting the solution in stages and learning from these feedback, we can improve and prove the hypothesis that the solution is working. Operationalize. After we have successfully incorporated the pilot and the lessons learned during the pilot, let us integrate the solution in daily operations across the enterprise. Number 7 is expansion. In large corporations, it is critical to scale and optimize the solution as we operationalize. So these are, in a nutshell, all 7 steps. Let's unpack these step by step. Step number 1 is visioning. Vision tells us, what does a secure future look like? What does the good look like? It is about setting a clear direction and identifying the leaders who will champion the security transformation, champion this change, and manage the change. Some vision examples are creating a charter outlining the goals of intelligent continuous security with the roles and responsibilities of key stakeholders. Another example could be is a CISO paints a big picture of a company where security is highlighted as a competitive advantage. Next one, let's talk about align. We align and create shared ownership culture. Security becomes everyone's responsibility. Alignment is about getting everyone on the same page. It is about breaking down the silos and fostering the culture of collaboration. Think win-win relationship across the organizations. Example could be is a development and security team working side by side to build secure applications. Another example, integrate security testing pipelines as part of the build process. That means every commit should trigger automated tests, including security and vulnerability scans. Assessment. We can improve what we can assess and measure. So start with a baseline assessment. Thoroughly scrutinize every security aspect of your company. What are our strengths? What are our improvement areas? Here are some examples. You may conduct cybersecurity health check and perform SWOT analysis. I'm certain many of you know what SWOT means. It's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Conduct pen testing to identify areas where you can improve. Analyze the security logs to identify potential threats. Perform the gap analysis of current security tools versus what is needed to achieve the optimal security in your organization. Solution is the most critical step because that is where the rubber meets the road. Now we design our defenses, carefully evaluate and select GenAI-powered security tools and ecosystem, choose the right technologies, right strategies, and clearly understand what your needs are. You can now design and select the right ICS technologies, create a plan for integrating new technologies as the technologies improve. So what are some of the examples? Implement the security information and event management SIEM system with AI-driven analytics. You can also implement security orchestration, automation, and response system, SOAR we call it. After solutioning, we want to make sure that we realize the steps included inspecting and adapting. We put our plans into action, we test, we refine, and we make sure that security is strong. It is about implementing those solutions and ensuring that they work as expected. Some of the examples, a pilot program that tests new security measures in a controlled environment, to make sure that things are working fine. Deploy a new endpoint detection and response system, EDR, to a pilot control group. Conduct simulated attacks to test what you have just installed to make sure that you are able to see the security outcomes that you want. After that, we operationalize. During operationalization step, we implement ICS into daily security operations by establishing continuous monitoring and response processes. Security becomes part of our DNA. It is not just something we do, it is who we are. ICS should be part of our daily operations, not just one-time project. This step is about integrating into the daily routine. Some of the examples: establish SOC, the Security Operations Centers, using AI-powered analytics, continuously monitor network traffic for any anomalies and take action. Automate the incident response workflows to quickly contain any issues that may occur real time. Finally, it is about scaling ICS across the organizations by continuously optimizing security processes and technologies. These practices across your organizations and continuously improve. As we optimize, we stay up to date with emerging threats and technologies. We implement horizontal and vertical transformation plans. We continuously improve, adapt, and evolve. So let's talk about some examples here. Regularly security audits, those are key day in, day out. Expand ICS to cover your cloud environments, BYOD, and IoT devices if you're using. Update security policies and procedures based on the threat intelligence that you're gathering. Automatic security patches management. So these are some of the examples on how to optimize your ICS. Our world is constantly changing, and so are our threats. That is why security can never be a one-time activity. It is a journey. We must always be learning, always adapting, always evolving and responding. So what can we do? As we say in one of those habits of highly successful people, that we must sharpen our saw. That goes educate ourselves, educate the team, educate the enterprise, communicate, communicate, communicate. Together, we can create a world where trust is foundation of digital lives. So Jess, are there any questions for me?
See, right now we have none so far, but if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. However, we did have some questions that came in previously, so I think I'll start off with some of those if that's okay and get the audience's creative juices flowing. So, first I want to say thank you, of course, for your incredible presentation on how to build a intelligent continuous security roadmap. Now, what challenges are often faced when implementing this kind of security transformation?
I would highlight three challenges that I see in the organization: sponsorship, win-win culture, and competing goals and reward system. Let me unpack each one of them. Sometimes sponsorship or lack of sponsorship creates chaos. So we need to identify the sponsors, the stakeholders, and their roles and responsibilities. Also, win-win. Many times we don't see that the shared ownership. We want to make sure that all our horizontal and vertical organizations, they see win-win in our roadmap and vision. Competing goals and reward systems, when I refer to that, is that many times we have seen that the organizations are rewarded by some reward system, and that could be competing and pitting them against each other. And that disrupts the collaboration, that creates unnecessary challenges for people to come together. So those are some of the key challenges that I have seen.
Awesome. You talk a lot, you talked before about, the getting that sponsorship. What a lot of enterprises have difficulty bringing in that executive buy-in and setting that strong vision. What are some critical factors or strategies to gain that executive buy-in to do a transformation like this?
Jess, that's an excellent question. So start first, use any GenAI platform or GenAI tool except DeepSeek.
Mhm.
I'm certain you have heard of that. Why I'm saying that? Well, since this webinar is being recorded, let me respond in this way. Use any American GenAI platform tool, and I'm not going to mention which one, and look up all the security related buzzwords such as shift left, zero trust network access, cyber espionage, DDoS, DLP, etc. And then write your security transformation approach for the stakeholders with necessary OKRs, KPIs, ROI, TCO. And I'm confident that you will get executive buy-in because our executives, they want to make sure that they understand what OKRs, objectives and key results, will be measured, what are the key performance indicators that you are measuring,
Mhm.
and what is the total ROI, return on investment, and what is the TCO, total cost of ownership, because they do not want to be surprised. If you build in your proposal with all the aspects that I just described, I'm positive, I'm positive that you will get the exhibit buy-in.
Incredible. And you mentioned a lot of that measurement, and how to measure. So how should security leaders then measure the success of their security transformation and ensure it continuously evolves as the threat landscape evolves?
That's another excellent question, Jess. I would say when it comes to measurements, I use what I call ODIM framework. ODIM. Look at the outcome first. To achieve those outcomes, what D is decisions you need to make. To make those decisions, what I, that is the insights you need to make those decisions. And to get those insights, the M, what should be measuring, right? So ODIM, I want everyone to be understanding that outcomes drive they are driven by the decisions and they come with some insights, and those insights can be meaningful metrics. So then reverse way, you measure what matters the most, that is M, and look out for the insights that you need to make the data driven decisions, and then reflect on those decisions that you're making. How are they helping you achieve your outcomes? So ODIM is the framework that I have used that helps us measure the success and also help us inspect and adapt.
Excellent. I think that is often, when people think about these transformations, it often is overwhelming because, you have all these different measurements you have to do. And I think ODIM is such a great approach to doing that. But you also mentioned, terminology, just getting everyone, for that executive buy-in, but also amongst your colleagues, making sure everyone has those terms, have the shift left, understand what those are. Have you noticed a difficulty with definitions? Has that been something you have run into with making sure everyone's on the same page? And if so, what have you had to do to get everyone on the same page?
Absolutely, absolutely. With so much information overload, people reach out to different, you know, uh, their Gen AI solution of their choice and try to self-learn. What that does is people try to infer what they hear, what they get there. The idea for zero trust, what that mean for the enterprise? You need to have a constant COPs, community of practice, what we call ongoing educational sessions to inform what zero trust means to this organization, because you have to you cannot just go by the book. You have to understand how it impacts you, how it impacts your organizations. You want to come up with that solution and have that awareness, which is bringing everybody on the same page, so that you know SOC is not doing something in the vacuum. They are making sure that they bring in other organizations such as development organizations, and things don't go, sideways when they implement some security solutions over the weekend, and Monday it's chaotic. So we want to make sure that we bring everybody together, learn together, and that's why I was talking about sharpening the saw, because the more we know, more educated steps we will take, and those will be the right steps. And again, as we learn, we are likely to make some errors. There should be psychological safety from leadership, so that leadership is, what should I say, understanding that teams are learning, and they shouldn't just create the culture of fake it until you make it. No,
Yep.
create the psychological safety so that people are innovating. One of my presentation about psychological safety, where I say is that bad news does not smell good with time. Let me repeat that. Bad news does not smell good with time. So that is a psychological safety to me. I hope that answers that question, Jess.
Amazing. I love when our presenters bring up a lot of these key interrelated issues such as psychological safety for their developers, because you're right, it's constantly it's changing, and there's going to be mistakes. That's why you need a roadmap that can adapt. And I love that quote, bad news does not smell better with time. I want to use that. That is wonderful. So excellent. Well, I think we are running a bit out of time, unfortunately. Um, not so too many questions have come in, but I think a lot of people have been very interested with our questions. I think we had a lot of fun. Um, so could you go to the next slide, please?
Absolutely.
Wonderful. So we are going to highlight some key takeaways quickly, but first I'd like to give a huge thank you to Jagdish for your incredible insights, breaking down the essential components in building a strategic roadmap for a security transformation. And as I mentioned before, I really like how you pointed out that security is a continuous journey. Enterprises will continuously need to learn and adapt to new security threats, make sure that their developers feel safe when they approach this, because while yes, reactive approaches lead to costly breaches, um it's still important to make sure that your developers feel safe and understood, and that this is a system that can allow that to happen by having it not a reactive approach but a proactive one. And of course, you know, that's why ICS is essential, and even more so building that roadmap with flexibility in mind. It starts with that vision and it starts with that alignment. So thank you. And to highlight some more, effective security leverages AI and automation to detect, prevent, and adapt to evolving threats. Again, we said a proactive approach is essential to stay ahead of these modern threats. And beyond data protection, ICS safeguards lives, trust, and stability. Because you know, you don't often want to put your credit card information into a site that you know has had a security breach. So there's so many aspects about this that are important for your success. So if you were inspired by today's topic and want to learn more about the Intelligent Continuous Security Certification Program and product suite from DASA, we encourage you to check out our website, dasa.org, or access the direct link to the product suite in the comments. I am posting that right here, right now. And thank you again for joining. Thank you again, Jagdish. This was wonderful. Stay tuned for our next episode. And if you have any, do you have any final thoughts for our audience, Jagdish?
I just wanted to appreciate everybody's time again. Thank you so much for time and attention. And when I cover these things in webinar, I am generic and tool technology agnostic. If you have any specific questions, concerns, or need some guidance, I'm always approachable. Just reach out to me. You can look me up on any of the social media. I'm everywhere. So, and there's only one Jagdish Karira in this entire universe. So you're likely to find me.
Perfect. Thank you. And in case you somehow cannot find him, I have posted the LinkedIn also in the chat. So check that out. Feel free to ask any questions. And yeah, thank you all again and have a wonderful day. Take care.
Bye bye.